help in this matchup. But we're already underway.
Yeah, I mean, the game's, just to touch on it a little bit, Joey was obviously in that fantastic finals with Tord.
Yes.
And you could see the quality of player he is. So coming back right into those regionals, not missing a beat, just keeping on going with his play here. So, we see Kenny going first, getting that bench nice and full to start the day off.
Looks like he had a Lele Bridge at turn 1, which is solid play always for Zoroark decks. I'm really curious how this Lurantis is going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, whoa. Looks like the quickest scoop ever there. Right back to the power shuffling. Joey apparently not having much more than the humble Fomantis.
I'm assuming the hand was not optimal for him, and maybe if he did search, there's nothing. All the stuff was prized he need. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we come in usually, as we kind of play that opening turn, but to see what's going on, it's pretty simple. Joey had cards on the field, it was all set up, and he scooped them up. So Kenny into a pretty easy lead there. It's so unfortunate for Joey after such a hot run, and then you're winning in as well. Yeah,
definitely there. The hand must have been bad enough to where he knows, hey, I got to have enough time to actually complete 2 full games now because I have to win both. So I need as much time as possible. Let's Scoop and just go ahead and get started to the next one where I have a better start.
I mean, you've got to ask a question here, and obviously they're at 6-1. This isn't. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but to lose a game like that because you've taken and established this and added that something, maybe you've got to look at it and say, is it right to add it? Because would you have had that same problem with the more traditional list? It's not my place to say, but it's something to consider.
Definitely something to consider, but, looking at the records, I think it has its merit throughout the tournament today.
Oh, most certainly.
So, very well, definitely takes a little bit away from the consistency factor, but, he's gotten here to this point. So we'll see how it plays out for him in the next 2 games, if there is 2 games, or definitely for game 2, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, he does get to go first this time, so starting off with a mulligan. Not going to be what he needs, really, but at least he gets to play first.
Yeah.
So if he does have the mulligan and the N, he can limit the use of that card from Kenny.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's, the tough thing with that, too, is like we go back to before, you want to bridge a turn 1. But knowing your opponent has a mulligan, too, every extra card, is an extra advantage.
Yeah, you've got to be so careful can you get enough out of what's in your hand, maybe some search you've got in your hand, and then get the N just to deny the extra card? I don't think it's too bad with just a single mulligan, but hey, if they for some reason got 2, which it doesn't look like he's going to get, a basic in-play there for Joey, a nice little handshake, and off we go to the races.
So also we got a low win pod start. Trying to see if he has the Ultra Ball in hand to get his support, get his setup going.
Well, we see some DCEs in there.
I see a Sycamore and a Puzzle.
You've got to be careful with that Sycamore. It's not the support you want.
Not turn 1. Not with all of your, key cards right there in your opening hand. Puzzle, DCE. So hard to see his hand, but
he's definitely mulling it over. He's looked through it a few times. Attaching DCE to the and a band.
I think he's going to go for the Sycamore. So it looks like we lose a Puzzle, a Glassipod, Acerola, and I think that was a Choice Band.
That's a lot to give away on your Sycamore.
That is
rough.
I
mean, at least he's now got another basic out, and that's so important considering what happened last time.
Definitely. So at least he, we won't be avoided Donk this time or a poor setup this time. At least he has 2 Pokemon out, and we'll see what progresses from here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real danger with the Zorua and the start of Kenny being able to just take out that Wimpod, but you can't come into, that second turn with just that lone Pokemon. He is, of course, playing it a little bit differently now, not going to try and get the first impressions. Maybe one of those bigger attacks that Golisopod brings with it wants to deal some big damage nice and early. And if he can do it, and that Sycamore was worth it, great. If not, it's not so hot.
We're going back to what we were talking about earlier about, a lot of these top players being able to recognize their prizes, recognize their different game situations with just looking through the deck and our first search. And that's what he's doing right now. You see him, going back and forth numerous times, but it's just making sure everything is there, what's prized. And it looks like he's eyeing the Tapu Koko. Oh, switches up. He actually favors the Zorua instead.
I mean, he pulled the Tapu Koko to the top, but you've got to remember, he's already played the DCE down because he had to play it before Sycamoring. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to get value out of it now, and then you're just kind of bench sitting it. It's an awkward card, I think, to use in the middle of the game. And also, he has the option to look for it next turn, and when there's more things to go after. So for now, probably playing it safe, getting those Zoruas in place so the Zoroarks will come and he can start trading through that deck.
I think I like that play a lot better. And he opts to leave the Wimpod active also. So
yeah, I mean, that Wimpod is stacked and ready to go. If he can turn that into Golisopod with Grass Energy, yeah, he's going to be off to a flyer.
Let's try to get an eye in on Kenny's hand. I see that might be an Ultra Ball and a Float Stone. But
there's the Bridget.
Opening Bridget without the Lele. Always fun to have that.
You see him. He's just checking his hand. He's got some, some decisions to make here. Zorua the first one. No doubt in his mind that that's what he needs. A win pod of his own. Looks like he's going to grab thumb that onto the top as well. And the other Zorua. So really going heavy on the Zoroarks here. Once he's pulled him to the top, as you see, just got to go in, check those prizes.
So these mirror matches are always really weird because it comes down to resource management heavily, because Acerolas is a key factor here. There's not really any kind of one-shot in here. But at Joey's side, he does play the Lurantis. So that could put his Gliscod into some one-shot range on either Lele's or, other Zoroarks, other Gliscod. So it's definitely some kind of a little bit more in his favor, but loss of the consistency.
Right.
You see the trade-off there.
But
so
when he gets it going, that Gliscod, and you see him attaching DCE, so he's not trying to just exclusively first impression. He's making sure that whenever it's out on the field, it is managing to reach for those one-hit knockouts.
So it looks like it's just a win pot of 2 Zoruas, so he's going to have 3 Zoroarks here potentially next turn if the active does not get knocked out.
If it comes up, yeah. I mean, nice play, get the grass energy down on your win pod, and there's the pass.
Top deck's a Guzma off the draw for his turn, him being Joey, and I don't see a draw supporter in his hand.
No, it looks...
Oh, okay, there was the end, okay.
Yeah, he was mulling over. I mean, it needed to be done, I think, and he had no idea what was in Kenny's hand or what he was ready to do next turn, so yeah, probably wise just to play down that end, get something fresh. It's still early doors. There's still a lot of stuff in there that Joey needs, and even if you can just pull one Zoroark off this, so that's it, get trade in.
What I saw there, he also had a Cynthia in his hand, and I think I like about that is opting to play the end over to Cynthia, because Cynthia's going to save you more late game than the end will. You get down to 2 or 3 prizes, Cynthia's going to save you a lot more. So holding that behind for a little bit later in the game was, I think, the smart route there for Joey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and being so good for just draw early. And to punish opponents late, great. But, the Cynthia is always good. Such a fantastic end here for Joey. Managed to pick up the trades on 2 Zoruas. So Zoroarks becoming into play. 2 trades, 4 new cards. That's a double puzzle in there as well.
So I know he has 1 Gliscod in the discard pile, but does he have a grass energy hand? Because what he could do here is play double puzzle, get back the Gliscod in the puzzle he discarded earlier, and now he has a puzzle again to use again later in the game to combo with.
Yeah. And we do see him looking through the discard, so it looks like that's what he's going to play. Would be really, really nice, of course, to get that Gliscod in. Double puzzle, as you so rightly called. See what he pulls off it. There it is.
Yep.
Gliscod and puzzles, so maybe I have to do some rearranging a little bit down the line. But it's such a powerful option now.
So now we're just looking for hopefully the grass energy, and it looks like he's just evolving and having wall there for a little bit.
Yep, we do see the evolutions immediately coming out from Kenny, so 2 Zoroark GXs on his side of the field as well. This could really ramp up the game. I mean, both players being able to trade twice. There's the first one from Kenny, keeping his cards very secret there.
I like how everyone has their own little different way of marking that they've used their trade for turn.
Yeah, you have some people
slant their cards,
yeah,
some people use the dice, as we see here. Tap them, exactly. There's a couple little different things, and I think everyone has their own little gimmick to notify that they use their ability.
I wonder if people always use the same technique as they do when they steam up.
Yeah, steam up's kind of the same thing.
Do the same, but it's interesting to see players' little habits there. But both trainers getting an extra 4 cards in their turn. One of those for Kenny being this double colorless energy. So he looks like he's going to be able to land the first big boy attack of the game.
This is a very interesting board right here. 2 Zoroark GXs, Wimpod with energy, Gliscod on the other side. This is a very interesting board state on both sides. We do see the Tapu Koko come down, so first impression will be a little bit more accessible for Kenny Britton.
Yep, and Cynthia, so going with it early game, but he's already got a lot out of his hand so far. And now he gets 6 more cards to just keep on going.
He's already used his trades too, so I'm not sure what he's looking for right now. Probably another Zoroark GX. I mean, it would not hurt to get another one out, and it's kind of just going blow for blow now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be in a good position. This Gliscod can't do anything without grass energy right now. So knowing that there's not one in Joey's hand means, yeah, he probably has to try and search for it with a new draw supporter maybe. So a lot of cool things. There's like a choice band made an appearance as well there. So this damage could really ramp up. I mean, Gliscod's comfortably in 2-hit knockout range, but you know, it's even easier with the choice band.
Another thing to note here, Kenny does not have very many cards in his discard pile. No puzzles, no Ace-a-Rollas, whereas on Joey's side, there are 2 puzzles and an Ace-a-Rolla in his discard pile now. So that's going to limit the trade-off later on in the game when it comes to those Ace-a-Rolla duels between the Zoroark decks. And so that could be a factor later on.
Yeah, we see an Ultra Ball, an N and a Grass Energy going away for Kenny, so probably another draw supporter in hand. And it looks like he's not going to be playing around that Golisopod. You wouldn't get rid of that Grass Energy with such a limited number. Either that or he feels comfortable there's a way to get it back.
Yep, I think it's very like you just said to yourself, very comfortable knowing he can get it back if needed. Enhanced Hammer can get rid of basic energy, and it's already 1 on the win pod, so he's pretty confident with what it's already on the board.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he does have a Grass Energy on the win pod, and that's fine. You know, it looks like he's going to be playing lighter on the win pods. He does use his 3rd and final trade of the turn, so another 2 cards. He's torn through so many cards in his deck this turn.
But he's getting everything he needs. He has 3 Zoroark GXs out. He has a Coco out. He has a Wimpod with energy. He is golden.
Another basic.
It looks like it's another Wimpod.
Yep, it's the 2nd Wimpod there. So caught a little bit by the lights, unfortunately. But still, you know, now his Brutal Bash is swinging with a choice band for 150, which we saw in hand.
He opted to hold it.
Didn't attach it. So yeah, maybe using it to guarantee a knockout down the line.
Yeah, like he's probably looking at potentially if he benched a Lele, maybe a crossing cut later on, or different things like that, because those choice bands really come in handy for that right there.
Yeah, Joey did find the Grass Energy actually after that 2nd trade, so you know, we could see something like an Armor Press or a crossing cut on this one. Not a bad play for Joey at all. It does mean his Zoroarks are going to be a little bit left out, but you know, he could crossing cut, get that out of the way. And then bring it back up later for a big first impression. Ooh.
There's an Ace-a-Rolla. All right, so he's going to probably bench the Wimpod back down. And then
but he's now got the DC in hand
for Rider's Beating.
Yeah, that's a really nice time to pull the Ace-Roller, actually. Not seeing that. A little bit curious as to how he was going to get out of that predicament. He can also just put the Zoroark back down. The Wimpod was already there. So, but the Golisopod, my apologies.
Which I would do that, honestly, because bringing up active Wimpod you don't get that net benefit from Golisopod's attack being to come from bench to active. So,
yep.
Actually surprised he's not opting to evolve that Wimpod right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's in hand. He doesn't want to lose it to an N. He's already got one in there. But just comfortable to exchange Riotous Beatings, of course. Slightly lighter damage coming out from Joey's side because his bench is not as full again.
Yep, it's not as much as Kenny Britton's producing right now on his side of the board. But we do see an N, a little bit of a reset for both players here. But I think Joey really needs the ball rolling as far as getting out these 4 Foe Mantis and setting up some extra damage for these Golisopods.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like his late game play, and he had a lot of cards in hand there that have now just gone right back in. Yes, he'll be able to trade twice, but he's also going to be going up against Kenny, who starts the turn with an N, doesn't trade a single time, and if he doesn't like what he gets off the end, hey, he'll just change that out.
That's what I tend to favor whenever I go across these different Zoroark mirrors. Is I believe you do need to have more Zoroarks on board to win the matchup. Late game ends and having more trades just significantly increase your odds of winning the matchup. So right now, Joey needs to get some more stuff on board as far as consistency and trade for the late game.
Yeah, well, we see the first one, the Bridget, the perfect trade follow that.
Booster draft number 2.
So there's the Ultra Ball gone for 2 new.
The back of the hall, toward the vendors on the snack bar side.
Will he go for the 3rd right now?
That is pod 12.
You might as well at this point. It's deck thinning, and it's just kind of getting closer to what cards you need.
There it is. Yep, the next Ultra Ball gone. He's so happy with his bench that
he doesn't even need Ultra Balls at this point.
Another card he's just turned into fodder. You know, it's nice to have all 4 of them there for consistency, but you only maybe play 1 or 2 a game.
Yeah, at this point, he's not really looking for anything in particular because he's probably going to draw into another Golisopod if he needs it, and he has 3 Zoroarks out. What's Ultra Ball going to do for him at this point?
Yeah, it's done. I mean, unless he desperately needs something like a Tapu Lele late game, then, you know, we'll be fine. We do see him retreating the Zoroark, though, to get that big attack in.
I like this play a lot because keep as much damage off your Zoroarks, you get to keep throughout the whole game. So let Golisopod do all light work.
Yeah, and another time as well, we see Kenny quite liberally putting resources back into that discard pile. So probably feeling pretty good about his ability to to execute with those double puzzles later on. When he needs it, I'll find a double puzzle with my trades.
Yep, and he still has not used any puzzles yet, so they're all still there, and fully open for him to use his resources. So
it's rare you see players just go for it like that. I mean, it's good Zoroark play to know that, hey, you'll be able to find double puzzles by drawing 6 extra cards a turn, and then, pull them out.
And I think Kenny's, extremely comfortable right now. He has a large size hand. He has 3 trades. He got an easy game 1, and honestly, he's in a driver's seat right now going to game 2, knowing that Joey has to put his foot in the pedal and start getting forward here.
Oh yeah, I mean he's definitely needing to get that damage out. Again, the active for Kenny is not got any damage on it, and yeah, he could start swinging for potential 150s, but we've had an ace roller from Joey, and Kenny's just put those consistent 120s, 150s down a little bit easier. He's now got 3 Zoroark in play, which are going to enjoy being able to use Riotous Beating for 120.
One tough thing here for Joey right now, there are no Lele on Kenny Britton's board, so there is no options for one-shots on that side of the board. So we definitely need to see some of that damage modifiers through Lurantis promo to help him increase his odds here, kind of speed up the pace of the game.
He's going to be running out of room for Lurantis promo now. We saw him pick up the Tapu Koko and the Tapu Lele off those trades, so if he's running short on the draw supporter, yes, Tapu Lele is what you need right now, but then it's fodder, it's in trouble.
It's a liability.
Yeah. On the other side, he needs to keep up with the damage. Yes, they're both staying in that 2-hit knockout range. They're doing over 100 a turn, but it's still not exactly fun. We do see Joey go in and grab a supporter.
I think we're going to see an Acerola here, or the Guzman knockout on a Zoroark on the bench. One of the two. I think you got to go for the knockout here and force him to kind of retaliate back. Yeah,
he does pull the Guzman. Doesn't mean he's going to play it, but we know that he's gone through a good amount of cards. We know that this Zoroark on the bench has a chunk of damage already, so should be in a solid position to push on.
With this, if he does go for this knockout, he will take the lead, the 4-6 prizes, but still, I still think Kenny's in a driver's seat as far as board position. He'll have all 3 Zoroarks left. Potentially, he will lose one of his with the Guzma. It's an interesting spot to be in.
Yeah, it's not the worst place. It's not the best place for either play. I think it's going to be a case of just keeping your momentum. So
he does play the Guzma and
switches it right around.
Attach a grass maybe to. Oh no, he's going to bring the Zoroark right back up.
Yeah, it puts the float stone down so we can go in and out. But then he's leaving that active one
for retaliation.
It's just there to get knocked out. Maybe he's struggling to locate the DCE, and he had to make that play.
He only plays 3 grass, he plays 4 grass energy, so I guess he must have whiffed it off those 2 trades that he had. And now he's going to come down to just 1 trade left on his board if Kenny comes up to knockout here.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny has a number of things on the bench. He's already got that Golisopod with the grass energy, ready to first impression. And he's already put down, a big enough Riotous Beating that's not a problem. He doesn't need to start committing double colorless over there because he uses double colorless on the rest of his team, and it's fine.
Couple cool couple plays you could do here. You can attach a DCE to Golisopod and armor press for the knockout, and then next turn Guzma up a Lele for crossing cut knockout. Because that Lele is stuck there. Neither player played Parallel City or anything like that to get rid of their bench, so a couple different options there for Kenny.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like both of those. Armor press would be really nice right about now, especially because we've seen Joey kind of struggle, I think, to keep the board full. Yes, he's probably hit some for Mantis by now. He's probably locating that Lurantis promo. But, does he want to keep playing it down? That's a very large Tapu Koko we have on the screen. Somebody might want to change the size of that Tapu Koko because it is huge. Apparently not. Apparently nobody is looking or listening. So
Gigantic Koko coming at you here, 2018 Knoxville Regionals. But we do see Golisopod promoted, and he goes for the first press knockout. Not the arm press like we were hoping for, but still a knockout.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in Kenny's point of view here is he wants to have the DCs for other things.
Fair enough,
and making sure his Zoroarks, which are now going to be a big deal because, if he does get caught with this Golisopod in the active, it's going to take some damage. But then he just Ace Roller out. He's not played a single Ace Roller.
No, he all of Kenny's resources for this kind of matchup are still in his hand, in his deck, wherever, but it's not in the discard pile.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a couple in there that you're like, well, maybe he needs them. And he's actually forcing Joey to hit the Ultra Balls now. Probably not exactly how he wanted to play it, but he needs stuff on the bench to keep up the damage from Riotous Beating.
So, curious what he's going to go for here, because he's down to 1 draw supporter with Zoroark GX, but he also, like we said before, we need to get those Lurantis promos out to increase that damage. But will Lurantis promo be enough to even make a difference at this point. With how much his bench is already full, and the damage modifier is only, what, plus 20 to your fire and grass types. So I don't think it's even enough to make it worthwhile at this point. I think you have to go for a Zorua.
I mean, I think it helps to fill things up. But you know, he goes to the Glycopods. Maybe he's going to start trying to chain those first impressions. The problem is we've just not seen those grass energies out yet for Joey. Maybe he's got some faith that they're going to turn up anytime soon. Would be great for him. But he still needs to work on getting this active Zoroark out. You know, the Float Stone got field blowed away as well, so a little less mobility. I think Kenny's still very comfortably in the driving seat right now.
Kenny's just drawing and going at this point. His engine's already rolling. He has all the stuff still in his deck. I think at worst he has 1 or 2, maybe 2 DCs in his discard pile. But all 4 puzzles, all his Acerolas, the chain's ready to get moving here.
I mean, his deck's not even that big. It's pretty slender. He's still going to be able to grab 4 instead of the 2 that Joey's going to be able to get with his trades. So he's still digging through that deck a little bit faster than his opponent. But Joey certainly has the mechanics to build this up. His bench is looking very tasty now with that double Glycopod and a Wimpod ready to go in case of an Ace Roller play.
And I think that's what we have to go with for at this point. As long as Zoroark can last the fight, we're going to be still our first impressions.
Yep, you do need the Grass Energy to get there, though, which seems to be a little bit hard to come by. So, you know, the DC is going down onto that Zoroark, and we do see it connect for a solid 100. No modifier.
Alright, so Kenny moves now, and I'm sure we're going to see an Acerola here now. Kenny's kind of just, alright, I'm going to play my defensive route now, let him use all of his resources left, and I'm just going to keep just holding back here and just keep doing my 2 shots. I got the game 1. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm just kind of rolling with the punches now.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a great position to take the next knockout. If he does Ace Roller up this Glycopod, then he can bring forward one of the Zoroarks. If he can get some big damage down with the DCE attachment there, then he's going to be in a pretty ace position.
You can bring him to Zoroark, or you can just bring him to Coco, evolve Wimpod, bring the Glycopod back up.
Yeah, I think he probably wants to you know, it seems like a really nice combination to be able to swing with Zoroark and then go after it with the Glycopod for the finish. Because then you're leaving Glycopod in the active, which is probably much less detrimental. So up it comes.
There's the Coco
into the active.
Is he going to attack with the Zoroark or the Glycopod?
I will say the Glycopod I'd probably prefer. Now I look down at the bench. Well, as soon as I got Ace Rolled up, I realized his bench is lacking just that 1 that you need to break over that 100 mark and guarantee those 2 hits. Not anymore, it seems to be.
Oh, he is fully set up now. This is the full chain. You could chain Glycopods now between the 2 Wimpods, chain Zoroark GXs. This is a scary board state for Joey to see right now.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit tasty. The Glycopod coming in. Going to drop the full 120 down on that Zoroark. And that Zoroark is not going to be able to retaliate in a timely fashion.
Alright, so with only 2 Ace rolls in his deck list, I'm curious how it's going to play out for him the rest of the game. He definitely needs to find 1 or at least find his double puzzles too. You got to get that thing off the board. Yeah, it's an easy ride is beating or first impression away from being knocked out and bring Kenny just 2 prizes left.
I really think Joey cannot afford to leave his Zoroark in the active right now.
He can't.
It's just not safe. It's not been safe all game. But then the problem is you know, if he brings up one of the Glycopods, it's probably stuck there.
So, a couple weird thing he could do here, like you said, if he could somehow retreat the Zoroark and bring Glycopod up to put the damage on him, if Kenny goes for the Guzman play, that damage is still on the Pokemon he attacked. So that's a knockout back for Joey. So that's an interesting thought there. But I would love to see an Acerola here. There is a Grass Energy. Now, if we had the Acerola, we're still in a fighting chance here.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very, very tight. The time is running down. We're just over about halfway now. See Joey taking a good peek at his opponent's discard, making sure Kenny is running out of resources, which is what he needs. He needs Kenny to slow to a halt at the end of the game and struggle to hit anything, really.
I'm curious if this gets to a point to where there is a deck out potentially, because with all the trades and all the Acerolas, no knockouts, I'm curious if it ever gets to that point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it come together. If the deck out comes there, I feel like at 4 prizes apiece.
Doubtful.
Yeah, I mean, we're still a little way off, but they've taken their time getting the first 2 prizes. Just exchanging the damage again.
All right, so we do see a first impression from Joey to put the 120 on the active Glycopod. I'm curious here if he's just going to go for the Guzman play and knock out the Zoroark on bench, or is he going to play conservative and Acerola? He has a big hand right now and 3 trades to to himself, so he can get whatever he wants, almost essentially.
Yep, we can see Kenny start counting up his trades. So
this is such an insane mechanic in the game right now that I could just get rid of all the stuff I don't want and just draw the rest of my deck right now.
Oh yeah, it's nutty. It's always been nutty since it's been in the game. I mean, there's so many things that you can get through. Nice Evo soda here. Actually allowed Kenny to go through his deck, which looked very, very small indeed. You see the shuffling silhouette there, and it's not a big deck.
Yeah, he's definitely down to looks like maybe even less like 10 to 12 cards right now. So he has to know his pace now. So it kind of forced him to be a little more aggressive now at this point because I probably have less cards left to deck than Joey. So let me get what I need and start doing these knockouts.
Well, first the trade giveth, then the trade taketh away. When you've got no
exactly.
cards in the deck, but he's got to have things in hand. That's the kind of concerning thing. Is where is that content in the hand?
So he does opt to go for the Guza play,
yep.
And he will keep the Goliath on bench and attack with the Zoroark GX for the knockout.
Yep, I like that play.
So this sets up a cross-cut GX play for next turn. Leaving his Goliath on the bench, easy Guzma, hit the Lele, and we'll be done round 8.
Yeah, I mean, that game 1 has not helped Joey in the slightest, but he's not really got off to the most consistent start in this game either. He's always felt a little bit behind, even after going first.
This is the rough spot, too, where he didn't get any other Zarus out right now, so even if he were to end Kenny right now, Kenny still has 3 trades to get to all his stuff. Joey has no extra support.
Yeah,
so he is strictly going Goliath Pod, Acerola. Yeah.
I mean, we know how few cards are in Kenny's deck. We've not seen the second double puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So, assuming one of them is not prized, which he definitely knows by now with that Evo Soda play, he could just grab the stuff for Lele and deal with it that way. Just Guzman it up, hit it with a crossing cut with a band.
Okay. So he forces okay, so this actually takes the Kenny back a play now, not being able to cross cut next turn. Does Kenny play a Kukui by chance or any modifiers like that? You can't Kukui and Guzman in the same turn, so that's not an option there. So he's going back to his route of just 2-shotting and going from there.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real other way to stop it. We do see the knockout there. Just simple. Joey has committed everything onto this Goliathopod, though, and it seems a little bit behind the curve. He's going to have to ace roller it. But we've seen a number of ace roller plays already, and he needs those ways to get them back.
So this is going to be definitely an interesting turn of events right here to see. So Kenny needs a full board to at least put himself within 2-shot range on Goliath Spot, because he did use Armor Press for his attack.
Yep, it had to be done really, but the 2 shots are going to be huge, and that's all I think Kenny is looking for here. Just consistent 2 shots. Yeah, he's got one of the DCs. Does have the first double puzzle in play, so he gets another.
Wow!
Another Goliathopod, another Grass Energy,
and an enhanced hammer.
Yeah, this is looking really good now for Kenny.
All right, so this is a really interesting spot. So if Joey I don't think he has any ace rolls left to use, unless he still has 2 puzzles left.
It's got to come from the puzzles, I'm pretty sure. We do see Zoroark GX coming into the activity and probably just going to start hitting poor old Goliathopod again.
So to hit him for, looks like it'll be 100, actually it'll be 80 damage. So he does need another bench spot to kind of put him in a little bit more range for the 2-shot. Because remember, we did see Armor Press last turn. All right, so there's Choice Band. And it will put it at
130.
It'll be 110.
No, he's got 5 Pokemon.
But he did Armor Press.
Ah, yes.
So Armor Press reduces attacks by 20 damage. Right?
Yep, 20.
By 20 damage.
My apologies.
And he's kind of searching his deck to see what his outs are. Both puzzles are in his deck, so it's definitely outs there.
But, I mean, Joey's key thing is don't leave Goliathopod there.
Can't leave Goliathopod active now.
And if Goliathopod, it does get on the bench and Kenny pulls the Guzma, it's game over. I mean, at that point, with this Tapu Koko on the bench as well, game over.
So it looks like he's going for the Guzma play, pulling Goliathopod up, I would assume, or dealer Zoroark GX, and just kind of hitting and running at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny just needs to keep putting damage down. The only thing that will really stop him is if he runs out of DCEs now. Like, the double colorless energy is his lifeblood.
I'm curious if he has the play in his hand to be able to do cross-cut GX, because we do have a Grass Energy on the Goliathopod on bench, and Lele targets on the board. Okay, so he Lele for the Guzma to have in hand, and then played Kukui. So I guess he's kind of going to thin it out to hit what cards he needed.
Right. But he doesn't have any option to trade, so everything he has in hand he's just stuck with.
So we're going to be seeing probably a crossing cut GX this turn just to get the Glide Spot out of the active.
Right, force Kenny to find that Guzma to win the game.
With no ace to roll up, now it's just a Guzma away, and I think it's going to be inevitable that between the 3 trades and all in his hand, I believe Kenny plays, what, 4 Guzma? Oh, yeah, I think this might be the next turn right here.
Yeah, I mean, having 4 Guzma, so we didn't see much puzzle action early on. We've seen our first double puzzle, but, you know, he's going to be able to basically, if he knows his Guzma's in there, he's going to be able to get to it. Look how few cards are in the deck. Look how many trades he has available. There's no way he doesn't get to it. And,
I do not believe I've seen 4 Guzma go to the discard pile either, so unless he's played 2 and he looked 2 of the prizes, I definitely see it.
But even then, I mean, if he's got 2 in the prizes, he's still going to have access to double puzzle.
He did. Oh, yeah, he still has 2 left, correct.
Yeah,
he does have 2 left still,
He's only double puzzled once, so, you know, either way, he should just be able to draw everything this turn and win.
Yeah. So we are going to see the crossing cut. I think Joey's trying to figure out if there's any other options I can do right now that I can win this game.
Yeah, looking at the hand spread out like that is always an interesting time. You know, looking across all the cards together, seeing if maybe there's a play in there you haven't seen till you line them up, and it doesn't look too peachy, I think, for Joey here. Yeah, he
showed the double puzzles.
Oh, he's going for it. He's going for that crossing cut.
That Kenny's showing the, okay, there it is.
We're going to play it out, and the handshake.
Wow.
Kenny Britton taking his winner in over last week's Oceania semi-finalist Joey Ruettiger. So, fantastic play by Kenny in game